Allison,
Yes.
so you know how the modern butcher.
Yes. Moved to Danvers.
I'm getting this much better in my left ear. You? I forget it. Who cares? Yeah.
You mean the ear where you have the pad on the headphones
Yeah.
still?
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of why.
So here's my thing. So the person, it's owned by a couple,
Okay.
and the woman's name is Lisa Nichols,
Okay.
and she and I are friends on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and she is friends with almost everybody I worked with at 96.9. So I wonder if she came from there. If she's a former, I don't know what she would have been, salesperson, production person, promo person. I don't know, but maybe she listens. Lisa, if you listen, let me know. Do we know each other? Wouldn't be romantic, Alice.
Okay.
I mean, Sally. I mean, Alice. I mean,
It's fine with me.
yeah.
Go
No, I'm just
ahead.
wondering because there was so
Connect
many.
with Lisa.
That was for a radio company. That
Or
was
Linda. Lisa or Linda?
I think it's Lisa.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
It's
what you
very.
said.
It was just a very like familial radio company. Like it kind of everybody kind of got along for the most part there. With some exceptions, but so I'm wondering. Got to find this out. Plus, we got to have the modern butcher on the other thing. Funemployment, Alice. You familiar with funemployment?
I don't think unemployment is fun.
Well, I'm going to read you a couple of. This is in the Wall Street Journal. They wrote about funemployment in the
Okay.
opinion section. They grabbed like 4 zillennials, and they said, "What are your thoughts on funemployment?" And they all know what it means. Funemployment means now. I'm going to read the two about that are into funemployment.
Okay.
This is Eli Thrasher, Dartmouth College, Politics, Philosophy, and Economics. I don't love him already, but that's fine. He says, we're coping. Our generation has been sold a lie. Irresponsible. So funemployment is when you're just effing around. Instead of getting a job, you're just screwing around.
You're just hanging out.
Right. So I should probably just start here. In this future view, students discover funemployment, a term used by Gen Z. Glamorize it's when you just screw around and hang out and party and go like follow Taylor Swift or whatever.
Okay.
We're coping, says Eli. Our generation has been sold a lie. Irresponsible fiscal and monetary policies from politicians have caused the economy to stagnate. We were not responsible for the kick.
Wait, isn't it a fantastic jobs market though? Like better than ever?
He was sold a lie, Alice. A lie. Our generation has been sold a lie. Remember when we all propagated that lie to the millennials? Don't tell them.
I'm just not sure I
Let's
understand.
give them false expectations.
There actually was high unemployment when millennials graduated from college.
Right.
Not
they were
so
sold
much,
a lie too.
Well, but there's actually like a lot of job listings right now and very low unemployment right now.
In 1993,
there's no reason to be unemployed.
In 1991, when I got out of high school and I went into the working world, and Time Magazine or Newsweek had Eddie Vedder in the front, we were like, yeah, man, we were sold a lie by Reagan and Bush. 8 years of Reagan and Bush, 12 years. Now we have a national debt, man, whatever. Everybody was sold a lie. Okay,
Right.
Eli, but hey, let's keep going here. We were not responsible for the kick-the-can stimulus packages. Is Eli proud of this so far? Like he's taken a direct hit by 2 cliches. He can't seem to get past them. Or a prolonged zero interest rate environment. Yet we're the ones paying the price. Oh, generational victimhood is. And my generation did it too. We're the ones paying the price, man. Companies we have dreamed of working for have instituted hiring freezes and layoffs, most of which specifically target junior positions. I also got out of high school right into a recession.
Maybe it's because you suck and you don't have any marketable skills. Did that ever occur to you? Because it
Dartmouth
seems to
College.
me it's like the best possible.
Isn't Dartmouth an Ivy
hiring
League college?
environment. Isn't it?
Companies we have dreamed of working for have instituted hiring freezes and layoffs, most of which specifically target junior positions. Now, when I was needing to get a job in Newport,
Yeah, it is, I guess.
when I was needing to get a job in Newport Beach, California, in Huntington Beach, what I did is walk down Huntington Ave, I guess it is, that spans from the beach like 4 miles in, and I applied at every single business, and nobody was hiring. Nobody was hiring. I applied at El Pollo Loco. I applied at car dealerships. I applied at gyms. I applied at every business I came to, other than like hairdresser kind of places. I applied everywhere. Nobody hired. And then I went into Newport Beach, and I applied at every place I could come to there. Nobody was hiring. And then I went to Balboa Island, and I went into a little market called the Hershey Market, and I applied there. And the guy said, well, this is excellent luck. My full-timer, just went off, no call, no showed, to go surfing in Hawaii. So, yes, can you come back at 8? And, of course, I thought he meant 8 the next morning. He had meant 8 that night, so I missed that. But so like, you apply to your 100 places, and then you just keep applying until you get a job.
Yeah.
The companies are hiring freezes. You know what you do if a company has a hiring freeze?
You apply there anyway.
You get hired. That's what you do.
Because even when there's a hiring freeze, especially at big companies, it just means like they're still going to fill positions that they need because people come and go all the time from big companies.
Right.
So there's still always going to be open positions even when there's a hiring freeze for like new positions because somebody in a critical role is going to quit to go on maternity leave and they'll need to hire somebody. You just apply everywhere and then eventually you get a job. That's how this goes. Here.
Fun employment, this is Eli Thrasher. Fun employment is not a concept conceived by recent graduates out of glee. It's a coping mechanism necessary for graduates facing today's job market. The majority of graduates without work followed the recipe. They chose the right major and did the work. But in today's job market, that doesn't matter, and graduates won't be given a real chance. Did they choose the right major? Apparently not.
Yeah, apparently not.
Yes, because the people who chose the right major
have jobs.
Exactly. Now, they might not be politics, philosophy, and economics centralized diploma on that track that Eli Thrasher's
on. Yeah, you know how I know it's not that hard to get a job? Because the percentage of people who are looking for a job who can't find one, which is called the unemployment rate, is very, very low.
Right. So he doesn't want to. He doesn't do it out of glee, hanging around just smoking weed and being a loser.
He's not having fun just for fun.
Right. We have grown up through war.
Not really.
No, you've grown up
Was he in a war?
No.
Did he go to college on the GI Bill? Because I think a lot of places are probably willing to hire him if he's been through a war.
When I think of the Battle of Fallujah,
he's a veteran,
I think, you know what? At least it's not Dartmouth College.
No, really. How can he say he's been through a war?
He has, man. One went on. He had to he had to watch TV and see that there was coverage from Iraq. We have grown up through war, financial crises. But first of all, the financial crises, I don't think devastated the Thrashers, considering he's at Dartmouth.
Wait, and when did he graduate from Dartmouth? Just now?
He's just, I guess so. He said,
because wasn't the financial crisis like 15 years ago?
Yeah, but he grew up through it. You remember?
So when he was like...
Kids had to leave home.
So when he was like 7 years old...
on a stick and jump on trains and
When he was like 7 years old, there was a financial crisis when he was like a little kid?
We've grown up through war, financial crises, bubbles, and scandals.
Wait, how did scandals impact him?
He grew up through them.
Wait, I'm confused.
Do you know...
What scandals?
Do you know what generally... most Americans who have made successes out of themselves have grown up through?
Wars, financial crises, bubbles, and scandals.
Exactly. But Eli feels it's a singular experience to him. You don't get it. Nobody older than me gets it. We've seen and studied...
It's basically the Dust Bowl of Dartmouth College right now.
Listen to this. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. We've seen and studied older generations' mistakes.
Oh. Sounds like you didn't, though.
The older generations aren't funemployed right now. Watch them create a more divided country and felt the effects of as the U.S. loses grounds on the world stage. I know I'm not alone in thinking Gen Z can do better, and we want our chance. But for now, how about a job, please? First of all, Eli Thrasher would suck as an employee.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Are you putting this upon me every night? You keep telling me, asking me to serve this food to people and pass them off every night. You're asking me to work for you as if I work for you. I just want the compensation part, man. I've been through war and bubbles and scandals.
If he's been through a war, then I would think most of the jobs that are out there would be like relatively easy and not stressful by comparison.
So, by the way, one of the persons is called, one of the people who studied this, one of the people who writes, one of these millennials, is named Anne Huang, Huang, University of Virginia Law. As an immigrant, I find that funemployment, how do you think she feels about it? Immigrant Anne Huang.
I think she feels that it's made up and stupid.
She feels like that it is remarkably a waste of time because she's out achieving. She's out doing stuff.
She has a law degree and
and she's using it.
Yeah.
Well, Eli's still suffering his PTSD from the war he was never in. She ends hers. Ultimately, funemployment seems to be a rebranding done by those with the ability to take time off. But the reality is that markets are tough, and finding a job is even tougher. For many of us, funemployment is a distant dream. So listen to this one. Here's my second one. Lazy or strategic. In contrast to the popularized view of media outlets and older family members,
those mean older family members.
Around the dinner table, the concept of funemployment can be a constructive, healthy, and empowering tool for young professionals. Because of its association with laziness and privilege, funemployment gets misconstrued as a negative way to spend one's free time after completing school. But if implemented appropriately, taking time to be
Is this just what they used to call a gap year? Which is for rich kids to travel or whatever who don't have to get a job because they have no bills.
But this is an open-ended gap year.
It's a gap eternity.
But if implemented appropriately, taking time to be funemployed can be a strategic and effective option for those who are waiting for an opportunity to start their professional lives. You're waiting for an opportunity, huh? You better keep on waiting for that opportunity. That and the jackalope will be around any time now.
Yeah, I read something great lately.
What are you doing at home, sitting by the pool,
waiting for an opportunity
with your 30-pack of Bud Light every day? Just waiting for an opportunity to come by the pool and take me out of here.
No, but I think it's such a great point because I was thinking about this. I read something the other day that was saying that all these successes in life are a lagging indicator of all this stuff that you didn't see that went into that. Like having a great body is a lagging indicator of going to the gym. It doesn't mean that the person went to the gym that day. It's a sign of a whole bunch of stuff that happened for a long time beforehand. People having a job is a lagging indicator of all the time they put in applying for jobs.
That's
the opportunity didn't just show up. And I mean, I've known people like this. I'm sure you have too. There are people that are sure that everybody else got some opportunity that they didn't get, that something just happened for them. But I mean, and I'm not going to say that luck doesn't play a part in how your life goes. Obviously, there's things that are lucky and things that are unlucky. But there are way, 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 way more things that, even though it's extremely boring, happen to you because of a lot of decisions that you made over a very long period of time. Right? We were talking the other day because we were listening to that Glenn Lowry and who was it? Was it McWhorter?
John McWhorter, yeah.
Who was on that podcast, and they were talking in particular about reparations, but which isn't really where I want to go in particular. But one of the parts that I thought was so interesting was they talked about there are a bunch of people out there who are convinced that there's you know, a bunch of chits on a board and like they've been distributed this way and you can just move them back around and like start things over. And it doesn't work that way. The things are the way they are, not there's a little bit of it that's luck, but much, much more of it is because people have built up skill sets and the ability to gain wealth over time and stability over time. And all these things, which is why you have people win the lottery. That's why the lottery doesn't make people generationally wealthy.
Right, of course.
The lottery makes people wealthy for 6 months, and then they're immediately back to being poor. Because the wealth didn't just show up for the people that are wealthy all the time. They're wealthy because, and you know, when wealthy people win the lottery, they become even more wealthy because they understand the habits that it takes to become and stay wealthy, including working hard, including, you know, spending money frugally, including all these different things, including having a stable family life, all these decisions that go into this stuff, you know, they all build up over a very long period of time. But that's like the attitude that you hear in this article. I'm waiting for the opportunity to come to me. Opportunities don't just show up in your lap. People hustle and work really hard for a long period of time to create opportunities. And sometimes people hustle and work really hard and things don't work out for them too. And sometimes people do get lucky.
Huang does not know the meaning of wait for the opportunity.
Right. It's like, it's like for the same reason why you can't do an SAT prep course and ace the SAT. Why all those courses have, you know, very small score differentials. Because the SAT is testing things like your vocabulary knowledge, which is built up over time by like reading lots of stuff. And you can't make up for a lifetime of decisions and choices in one test prep course. But almost everything works that way. Like I said, like going to the gym, having a stable family life, you know, building wealth, all that stuff is the long-term result of lots of tiny little decisions that you make for years and years of your life. And every day that you get up and sit by the pool being funemployed is another day that you're not making an opportunity for yourself. It's, you know, and it's not to say that like taking a day off is bad. It's the over time, long-term habit that adds up to something. But, you know, like I say, it's like with with going to the gym or how you eat, right? Like some people are always on a cheat day, and some people.
You're exactly right about that. Like, you know, I'm gonna start a diet tomorrow, or
I'll quit drinking tomorrow.
I'll just whack this cake out right now, and I'll get better next week. Or you know, you will find. I mean, you look at Eli, and his 3 paragraphs are filled with reasons why he's quit. And he's just started life. Our generation has been sold a lie. Irresponsible fiscal monetary policies,
too late,
kick the can,
Eli.
stimulus projects, packages, prolonged zero interest rate environment. We've grown up to war, financial crisis, bubble scandal. He's got 1,000 reasons that he'll give you for why he can't win. I can't.
Or like the communist coffee shop guy. The lack of generational wealth and the investors wouldn't invest in me. See? There was lack of access to capital for me. No.
Well, at least the communist coffee guy
started a coffee shop.
Yeah, at least he did. I mean, at least he's a moron, but at least he did some things apparently. But okay, if implemented appropriately, this is the person waiting for an opportunity. This is Elizabeth Grace Coyne, Sacred Heart University.
So she's waiting.
Yes. I plan on being funemployed this summer, and in addition to waiting patiently for replies to submitted job applications, she's going to wait patiently. She's willing to give them a little time. I'll wait patient. I'll be patient for you to give me what I deserve. the accommodations that I deserve because I spent 4 years at Sacred Heart.
Every time that I like desperately wanted a job, whether I had another job that I was trying to get out of or what, I think every time that I did that, I was applying to somewhere in the neighborhood of like 10 to 20 jobs a day. In addition to like my day job, I was doing that.
Right.
But that's what you need to be doing.
So, but Elizabeth Grace Coyne is going to wait patiently for replies to submitted applications.
Yeah.
She's going to be, I'll be patient about it. She's got all the time in the world. Might as well be patient about it. Maybe patience is not what she needs right now. Maybe a sense of urgency is what she needs. Right. But I get the feeling Elizabeth Grace Coyne, in the waspy household in which she dwells, I think it's probably acceptable that she just bum around. I will be using the time off to sharpen my technical skills. I don't know what that means in terms of communications and public relations, which she's in. Pick up old hobbies.
Communications and public relations, she needs to sharpen her technical skills?
Yes.
What could you possibly do in your spare time to sharpen your communications technical skills other than be in communications?
Right. I plan to using my time off to sharpen my technical skills. Pick up old hobbies.
Well, that's good for her. Wow.
Well, that's great that she's going to learn how to do origami like she used to 10 years ago, but I'm not sure that's a great use of her time. I'm going to pick up old hobbies.
Do you know what else you can do while you learn origami?
You know what?
You can have a job.
How about,
I know people who are extremely into origami who also work high-skilled jobs.
How about a new hobby where they pay you by the hour? I'm going to pick up old hobbies and nurture my relationships.
Huh.
Wow. Lucky for your friends. You'll be nurturing their relationships while you're unemployed. Unfortunately, it's hard to nurture your relationships while some of your friends are gainfully employed. I value my future career. And getting a job has been my top priority.
Sounds like it.
Along with picking up old hobbies, nurturing relationships. Fun employment encourages recent grads desperately seeking employment and structure to work first on building a foundation of personal development and growth. How about you just get a fucking job?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is that the problem isn't that...
Wait, but also, else, working my personal development growth. You've had 4 years off. You've had 4 years at Sacred Heart. Taking 3 classes a week.
Right. If you're lucky and blessed enough to not need any income because, for example, you live with your parents or whatever it is that Elizabeth Grace Coyne does where she doesn't have to pay her bills, you could get like an internship. Lots of industries, like in particular, if you're in communications and you want to work for like a fashion magazine or something, lots of places will take unpaid interns where you can actually work and they don't pay you. And that probably hones your skills more than hanging around at home by the pool. But, you could also just get a job. And I don't know, maybe I'm weird like that, but with a few exceptions, mostly due to horrific managers, I've liked almost every job that I've had, or at least liked aspects of it, learned things from it, enjoyed things about it. And you can build your skills and develop yourself by getting almost any job. Like, I think the real problem isn't that they can't find a job. I think it's that they can't find the job that they want.
Yes, the one that's all set, that's easy, the one where they get to be cool and have the hours that they want. It's maybe 4 to 5 hours a day.
Because
they get to bring the dog in.
Because everywhere is hiring, and a lot of these, even like low-skilled jobs that don't require a degree, pay really, really well now. In some cases, pay better than jobs that require degrees. Right. I can tell you that when I worked nights at Home Depot, I made more money than people that you hired to be reporters at certain local journalism establishments who had advanced degrees in journalism and were educated.
You're right. So Eli could work at Valvoline right now. They're looking for people.
And
but
they'll teach you what you need to know. He's more important than that.
Than the people at Valvoline. Of course, they're
better than him.
Yes. They are working. This is Anne Huang again. As an immigrant, and all the key is right here. I think the Wall Street Journal was effing with us a little bit here. As an immigrant, I find that fun employment as a concept feels alien, and it feels separated from the harsh reality of looking for a job to provide for myself and my family. In other words, mommy and daddy aren't taking care of her. She's taking care of everybody. I bet you everybody in the Wang family is. As I prepare to start my second year of law school, I'm on the hunt for a job. Perfecting my resume and cover letter, going to more recruitment events, and preparing online applications take up quite a bit of my time. Given the sacrifices my parents made to come to this country and provide for me and my brother, I expect to do well. I don't ever plan to take a long break, excluding the couple of months between taking the bar exam and the typical firm start dates. That is what we call a winner.
Yeah. And then
she's nothing.
Elizabeth Grace is going to be wondering
she's,
why Ms. Wang is going to be making a lot more money than her and living in a nicer apartment and buying nicer clothes. And she's going to think that life is just unfair.
Exactly. But
there were there were many years of choices that went into that end result.
Anne Wang is not working on building a foundation of personal development and growth. She is not.
Well, she is, but she actually is.
She's not talking about hobbies or nurturing her relationships.
Who knows? She might have hobbies. People who are high achievers and who are focused and who get things done tend to have more time to do other things as well. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I.
Like people, the type of people who are organized enough and type A enough to go to law school and be applying to law firms and attending recruitment events and passing the bar exam tend to also have time to like go to the gym and or pick up marathon running or other things. You know, a bunch of them do. I've known people who go to law school and also like paint in their spare time. They have time to do more stuff because they're more organized with their time and more motivated to get things done.
Yes. And sometimes, among other reasons, is that they're paying for it themselves, or they just have the value like Wang has of the needing to make her own living.
And I'm not saying that, by the way, that I'm like that way or good at that.
But we're not that way.
Yeah,
we're
like,
Eli's.
But I recognize when like things are a result of my own poor choices in life. Like I know that. I'm aware. I know the difference. People who are, it's not 100% true, but, when people say like 10% of life is what happens to you and 90% is how you react to it, there is a lot of truth to that.
Correct. Agreed.
Or as my chemistry professor used to say, succeeding in chemistry is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. You don't like that one?
That's too bad. Wish you'd get a hobby.
This is my hobby.
Okay. Do you want to get to something else, or do you want me to go right to the GP, ChatGPT, the rise of AI and human extinction, in front page?
I wanted to mention a few things extremely briefly. One is that it's looking like Christie's going to get into the presidential race.
At St. Anselm, right in New Hampshire.
He has a super PAC. He's ready to go. He's jumping in.
Death sentence is coming tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, I did hear that in Derry. He's going to be in Derry. You got to
talk to Push Us, see if they'll give us a phoner in the car for 5 minutes.
Okay, I'll see what they can do.
Tell them we're huge.
Huge in New Hampshire.
Southern New Hampshire and in Massachusetts. Huge. And we do have a lot of New Hampshire fans.
True.
But multiply that by 3 million. So lie.
Okay, I'll work on my lies. So, yeah, he's hired some, like, McCain-Romney people, which that tracks. So, I mean, I assume they're going to do just as good a job for him as they've done for others.
The scuttlebutt is that he's supposed to be there to beat up Trump.
I mean,
he'd have to. It would have to be a total reinvention. I mean, it's not as if the Chris. Well, I mean,
I do think that a bunch of these people get in to be another person in case DeSantis just implodes, which could happen. Like Scott Walker imploded in 2016, or yeah, that was 2016, 2015, 2016. That some of these that DeSantis being the non-Trump frontrunner might not last, and if you're in, you're in. I think they should have a pretty substantial cutoff for being in any debates. That's my opinion. I don't want to see Asa Hutchinson on a debate stage.
Ugh.
Well,
I mean,
just spare me these people. I can't take it, right? I don't need them all to be there. 1,000 of also rans. I just don't need it. I think they should keep it pretty tight, not more than 5 or 6 people.
Although I mean, Christie,
more than enough.
I mean, it's going to be a zoo. If Trump is in these debates, it's going to be the zoo.
Right. I mean, Trump's already a zoo, and he's not even on Twitter, and he's still being a zoo because every time he truths something, everybody tweets it for him. What did you think about the McEnany stuff?
It's stupid.
Yeah, he went after Kayleigh McEnany, who friggin' took bullets for him out there every day.
30 years old or whatever she was. She was a hero. She was fantastic. And she still doesn't really badmouth him. I think
no, she just read poll numbers that he didn't like.
It's
on Fox.
That's a bad look for him, and that makes me, he's a mean bully and an a-hole to Kayleigh McEnany, loyal soldier for him, and he's a sweetheart to Nick Fuentes.
Well, and a sweetheart to Bud Light and Disney and everything else, which I understand those aren't everybody's issues.
Right, and also I think that he's just using that against DeSantis.
But I've heard him say more bad stuff about Kayleigh McEnany now than I have about Fauci.
Yeah, that'll be a good place to hit him too.
So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, DeSantis is pushing the a bunch of people asked him about Trump attacking Florida, and he said he moved his whole family to Florida, which that's obviously the way to go on that one. But it just it'll shape up how it shapes up, but I don't think that Trump doing that with Kayleigh McEnany in particular helps Trump.
No, I think Kayleigh McEnany is one of the people in the administration who gave
Trish said in the chat, Trump went after her. WTF is wrong with him. I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
That's the thing where, let me find what he said about her. Because he was mad because she read some poll numbers and he said that they had actually been corrected and she knew that. I don't know the truth of the poll numbers or whatever. Kayleigh Milquetoast McEnany just gave out the wrong poll numbers on Fox News. I am 34 points up onto Sanctimonious, not 25 up. While 25 is great, it's not 34. She knew the number was corrected upwards by the group that did the poll. The rhinos and the globalists can have her. Fox News should only use real stars. So, I mean, but that's what it is. I mean, Jenna Ellis completely sacrificed her career for Trump, and the Trump people have been going after her now and calling her Jebba Ellis for months.
Oh, Jebba? You see.
Jenna Ellis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's always been a little more, has had a tendency to au bon point.
Oh, what? Au bon point?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Just look it up, I guess.
No, but you tell me right now.
It means a little chubbiness. But it's in French and it sounds classier than saying
pan, like the bread place. Au bon point.
En bon point. EMBONPOINT. The plump or fleshy part of a person's body.
Oh wow. Who knew?
I knew. Yeah. So I mean. It is what it is, but I don't think it's a good look for Trump to be doing that. Everyone likes when he's a mean bully when they're going after him and he punches back. But to go after somebody like McEnany who in some ways salvaged his presidency at the end of the COVID stuff going into the 2020 election.
Yes.
Because her press briefings were 1,000 times better than anything that had been happening in 2020 up until that point.
Yes. Yeah. She was pretty immaculate. She was a great soldier for him.
She was fantastic. And yeah, he doesn't have any loyalty to anybody, which is fine. I get it. But the being an a-hole and going after people works when you're talking about Comey or Christopher Wray or CNN, but it doesn't when you do it about people that worked for you and were great when they worked for you and have never said a bad thing about you because they said you're only 25 points up in a poll. Like, it doesn't seem like in proportion to say, like, the rhinos and the globalists can have her. Like, I don't know. It just seems crazy to me, but.
What else you got?
Have you heard of this TikToker, Mizzy? At all?
No, I don't think so.
So he's a British TikToker, this black kid, and he's
Oh yeah, I do.
He does
He's caused trouble. He breaks into people's houses and stuff like that. He
but
was on
his
with Piers
pranks
Morgan.
are like, yeah. He recently hijacked a train. He went into the train control room.
Oh, okay. He's
yeah.
an a-hole. I saw him on with Piers
Yeah,
Morgan.
he's a huge a-hole, and then he like pulled the race card, saying that like people react differently to his pranks because he's black. Like, no, it's because you're
hopefully he gets hit by a train. I'm so sick of young people trying to shock me. He's just an a-hole.
Well, yeah, and like, you can only do that in England. If you have breaking into people's houses as a TikTok prank in like Texas, you're gonna have a problem. It's not gonna work everywhere. But yeah, I think that the TikTok pranks have gone too far. But yeah, he's been like arrested now, I guess, and I don't know. But
hey, what do you think? Oh, by the way, did you see that? Did you see that Barstool hired that kid back? Portnoy did.
The N-word guy?
Yeah, he hired him to work for Portnoy's watch company.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's a way to like make the haters happy, but not offend Penn because they don't have anything to do with the watch company, right? Penn doesn't own the watch company, do they? That's just Portnoy.
No, they don't. That's right. But it still seems like a stick it. You know?
Well, yeah, but you know, you can't like. What are the regulators going to go after Penn for somebody who owns a lot of Penn stock also owning another company where he hired somebody who once said the N-word in a song? Like, I don't, you know, at some point it gets like too convoluted, but I do think that it will shut up the people who like call him a sellout and all that stuff. Because it's like he made it right for the guy that he fired.
I guess so. I had another thing I wanted to run by you. And,
okay.
But if it's going to step on you, then I won't.
No, go ahead.
Because it can stand up. It can stand up till tomorrow.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you think? Tim Scott.
Right.
You like him good enough, right?
I like him good enough. Yeah, sure. VP. He's running for vice president.
Well, is it disqualifying at all for you that he's not married and has no kids? As a presidential candidate?
Is it my like preference? Not necessarily, but like neither is Trump's family situation.
Yeah, but Trump has kids.
Yeah, with 3 women, and he's cheated on like everybody that he's been married to, pretty much, right?
Right. So he's not like a
right.
Good,
like so, it's not like
he knows how
Tim Scott like is really Trump, religious and not married.
Okay, but wouldn't it?
You know, like and.
Okay, I just want to run it by you. Somebody had mentioned it the other day. Maybe it was Michael.
No,
Knowles.
I mean I do know a lot of people. It's come up and people talk about it. I don't think it's like more disqualifying than like the Trump stuff necessarily. You know what I mean? Like people's personal lives don't always reflect their policy views.
Right.
And, you know, and like if you're going to make an exception, like I've mostly heard that coming from Trump people, which like I don't and I get it. Trump has kids and Tim Scott doesn't, so but that's fine, but like he doesn't have any kids out of wedlock either.
True.
You know, he doesn't have kids he's abandoned and isn't paying child support for, like Hunter Biden. You know what I mean? I just, like, in the scheme of not living up to the standards of, like, the ideal of a Western civilization family life. Like, I think that's like one of the less offensive things, and people are part of this country too who don't have kids. And I understand the idea that like, oh, it's like, but if you don't have kids, then how can you like care about the future generations? But I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Like, that's the type of stuff that leftists say when they want to talk about climate change or whatever, right? Like that, like, oh, the kids, the future generations, they're the ones that are going to have to live with this.
Well,
like,
real leftists aren't having kids anymore because of climate.
Yeah, because they're going to have to live with all the consequences of all this. Like,
Bubbles. Like
right,
Eli.
wars.
Why do they
Right,
bring?
how can you bring
think
kids
Eli's
into
parents
a world
wonder
like
if it was a good idea to bring Eli into this world? He had to be through wars and bubbles and kick the can. Alice, what is the hot sauce?
The hot sauce is Chelsea Fire Wicked Hot Sauce. They bring us the Chelsea Fire Wicked Hot line where you can leave messages and we'll play them on the show.
Alice,
This is a hate crime against my CPAP.
I can't breathe, Alice. Boy, when my CPAP gets unplugged, I just yank the thing off my head, and I don't bother with it the rest of the evening. I wanted to thank you both for the empty camera shot of Tom's chair while he tried to access Alice's computer. Looking for
That was in the Patreon show.
somebody typing in questions so he could answer them because Alice left the room.
Yeah, she left the house.
Alice's children can't leave her alone for 10 minutes. And Tom can't leave Alice alone for 10 minutes. Alice, I feel for you.
What?
I do have to capitulate to Tom on one thing, though, and that is I've had mayonnaise with French fries, and it is really good.
Good man.
Sorry. Does not belong on a meatball sub.
Incorrect.
Hot, fresh French fries. It's pretty delicious.
There used to be a restaurant not in Cleveland Circle, in Brookline Village. Not Brookline Village. Where's like Milton's in?
I don't know.
What's that called in Brookline? It's where Kraft lives. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. Robert Kraft, that is. Not the mac and cheese people.
Chestnut Hill?
Chestnut Hill, yes. Okay.
I only know that because you said Milton's.
Right.
And Chestnut Hill Square, Chestnut Hill.
So there used to be a
South
place
Shore
called
Plaza,
Yep,
Arlington.
Pomme frite there. And I know that you speak French. What is pomme frite?
French fries?
Exactly. And all they did was serve French fries with all different sauces. Me and Jimmy, being French fry connoisseurs, went there in 1995 and actually were made to feel somewhat nauseous because we had so much grease. But there was another thing you said that it needs to be addressed. What else did you say, Dr. Cheswick?
Bothering me with your CPAP in the night?
CPAP, where you're wrong. And then he said,
The kids can't leave me alone. Tom can't leave me alone.
she abandoned me. I tried to get. First of all, I think I did the thing so you could see me in the split screen. Maybe I didn't. But are we releasing that? Did you decide to?
It's a Patreon show.
Okay, it's up on Patreon. If you guys who aren't subscribed to Patreon want to see some horrifically bad content, that is right there. No, I did. I started out hot actually, including talking fondly about another woman. Did you even see it?
I did not listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Just saying. Just saying. Here we go.
Okay.
Hey, Tom, this is Al up in New Hampshire.
Hey, Al.
Hi, Al.
Hope all is well. Hey, listen, I was listening yesterday to the mayonnaise talk. And
Yeah.
while I also do enjoy mayonnaise,
Yep.
the thought of mayonnaise on a meatball sub
Oh, it's so good.
or mayonnaise on a pepperoni pizza,
Oh.
between you and I, Tom, that is just a cry for help. It really is. It's time. Just go over to McLean
I
Hospital.
know.
I'm sure they have a section for whatever this is, and they will get you the help you need. And one other thing, you mentioned Alice when she talked about mayonnaise. You mentioned she had no joy,
Correct.
which is neither here nor there. That may be or may not be. I do think she's wonderful, but what she does apparently have, Tom, is taste buds.
No.
McLean's may be able to do something there for you as well. Talk to you later. Bye.
Incorrect, Al. That is incorrect. First of all, pepperoni pizza if it's a good pepperoni pizza with 1.5 inches of beautiful grease on top of the pepperonis and it's flopping in wet, that piece does not need
Mayonnaise.
Exactly. But as you work your way towards the handle, towards the crust, that's when mayonnaise needs to be implemented.
Hey, Tom, Steve from Gloucester. I'm
Hey,
just
Steve.
wondering if you have signed up for Paige Spriniak's OnlyFans account. And if yes, is it more for a research project? Because I'm sure you'll have to explain that to Alice when it comes up on the banking account statements. Thank you. Bye.
Paige Bernack, this is a very interesting thing. She dated a guy and sent a topless picture to him. He then put it on the internet.
As guys do.
As guys do. She's now essentially topless in almost everything she does. She's really kind of jacked that up a little bit to sell the OnlyFans thing. Like, how is she still feel violated by the first one, but not by doing it herself? I mean, she looks good in the. I'm told she looks good in the first one. I won't look at stolen or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Blackmail. But what gives?
I don't know.
Why is
I don't know. I attempt not to be naked on the internet generally, so I don't really know.
those days are ending, Alice. Entire comprehensive.
Although I was gonna say regarding Tom having to come up with an explanation for things, Tom was implicated in the Ashley Madison scandal. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
When they were hacked, your Boston Herald email address showed up in the hack.
I used the Herald. Yeah, I guess I would have.
Because you did it on the air as part of a bit on the show.
And the Herald, of course, the Herald loved getting the list of everybody, and then he went through because they were going to blow everybody up to use as content.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of the editors.
That was the cheating
over.
on your spouse website.
Yeah, one of the editors rushed over to me and said, "Tom, I got to talk to you. Got to talk to you. It's really super important. They found your name." It was Joe D. He has a bit of a Boston accent. So
I believe didn't Cooner like kind of make some oblique references to like, saying like I could ruin him.
I was hoping he would. I was hoping he would. It really was because I was ready to lawyer up. I was please do it. He didn't though. It sucks. So yeah, I'm a client.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right. Yeah, I signed up on air, thankfully, and with the.
Yeah, you were like talking to the person who founded it or something
as
an interview, and you were like, "So how do you do this?" Okay, yes. So I've entered my email and blah blah blah. So.
And then when it asked for a credit card,
so you did have a cover story.
When it asked for a credit card, I got out of there. I was like, no, but it didn't matter. The email took, and so, but I always thought it was ridiculous because if they like fired me or somebody went after me or you like broke up
divorced
with me,
yeah.
For that, I'd be so. Like mad that you think that if I cheated on you, that's how I would do it with the cheating website. It's like you don't think I'd put some effort into it, with cash and some kind of transaction. I would have been more careful than.
Let me just put my work email and my credit card into the cheating website.
They must be secure. Fine. Let me see. Let me make sure they're secure. Find the motorcycle in the pictures. All right, that one. That checks out. Yeah.
Nothing can get around this security.
Yeah. So there you go.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. One more show tomorrow, correct? Today is Wednesday. I don't even know. I've been so slammed at work. I'm like out of my mind. I've lost days. Yeah. So there's another show
you've
tomorrow.
Lived through wars.
Yeah, I feel like I've lived through wars.
And you've lived through bubbles, right?
I've lived through
wars, bubbles,
website replatforming.
Replatforming. You've lived through. My people.
The difference is I get paid, Eli. Just a hint. For my trouble, people give me money. Not as much as I feel I deserve, but that's true of everybody, I guess. BurnBarrelPodcast.com.
C'est la vie.